Hi, I'm Monica MBU, and I'm a CEO and founder of Decide to Move. And my chapter in Fiercely Speaking is called Resemblance of Me. And so my chapter deals all about my relationship. Well, I had my daughter at 17, so it was about the journey that I took with having her, and then lessons that I've learned, which really helped teaching people how to connect with their child and actually have a better bond, so that way their child is not raised feeling entitled. Because oftentimes we as parents, we often try to make up for what we didn't have, and so we end up having a child that's entitled, a child that doesn't understand respect, and different things like that. So I wanted to focus on a chapter that really hit home to that type of with that.
What made you decide to be a part of an anthology?
Well, because I was actually working on my own book, and then I was like, with so much stuff going on, working full time, having a business. And when I heard about, I was like, okay, I don't have time to fully invest in my own book right now. But when I heard about Fiercely Speaking through Audra, just the whole concept of what she was speaking about and what it would mean really meant to not a lot to me, resonated. So I was like, I'm definitely going to write a chapter in this book.
And how was the journey for you?
The journey was great because of the fact that I really only had to focus on one chapter, which was a lot easier than trying to write a whole book. But I was able to put my heart and soul in that one chapter and really allow it to resonate instead of it being going here, going there, starting, stopping, and different things like that. And not having to do, worry about all the other things that go along with writing a book. Audrey made it really simple and easy for me.
What surprised you as you were writing your story? What surprised you about that whole process of telling your story?
Um, I didn't realize how much it impacted me. I had, like I said, I had my daughter at 17, and when you're young, for me, I just got in the hustle and bustle of just really raising her and just focusing on her growth. My daughter's now 30, and so I'm dating myself. But just, and I realized that we had such a great relationship, and I didn't really understand that why. And I had a lot of people say, oh my gosh, when I see you and your daughter, you guys are, so close, you laugh all the time. And then as I was writing my chapter, it really resonated. That's when I came up with the 10 lessons learned, because I actually had things that I things that I did that really made a difference in our relationship. And so I really wanted to make sure that other parents know that as well, because I'm also a therapist, and I have a lot of parents that struggle right now as for parenting stuff. I have, people that come to me just asking me a lot of different questions. What do I do with my kid, or my child is acting like this? Or I have adult clients from their childhood that are now seeing me. So I felt like this was a good opportunity to really help a lot of people in different areas of their life.
How did your daughter feel about you writing this chapter?
My daughter actually was really excited. It didn't make it in the chapter because it was too long, but she actually wrote a letter to the readers. And I wish I would have had enough room in there, but she actually wrote her own uh, thought about how our relationship was, and then what she wanted the readers to get from the chapter, it really made me cry, because she was like, I want to write something, Mom. And when she did, it just really touched me. I wish it would have made it in the book, but once I finish my own, maybe it'll, we can insert it in there.
Oh, well, why don't you let your raving fans read the letter? Like, can you like post it on your social media or something like
You,
that?
you
Now
know what?
I'm
I
intrigued
sure
now.
can.
I want
I
to read
never thought
the
about
letter.
that. Yeah, I never thought about that, but I definitely can.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And so she didn't feel like you were revealing any of her secrets or anything like that. She was very supportive of it.
Very much so. I literally think I had my clone. I say it all the time because, I hear people say, oh, my child is my best friend. I didn't raise my daughter to be my friend. That was not my role, and that was not her role. But now that she's older, we are really close, and we can talk about anything and everything. And I think that's the big, huge difference, that as parents, we try to make our child become our friend. she's not your friend, or he's not your friend. You're the parent. And then once they get older, then you can actually have that better relationship. So not at all. I mean, there was nothing, to me, it's about being raw, being vulnerable, being real. There was so many other things that happened in my life prior to having her. So having her was, to me, the best thing that I actually could have done in my life. So
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure it was difficult because at 17, you were still just a child yourself and
yes.
making the decisions for this new life that you are now
Hmm.
responsible for, right? I'm sure
Most
that there was some
definitely.
different. Do you talk about those difficulties in your
Um,
chapter?
in the chapter, I really didn't go into a lot of details because of the fact that I only had so much space.
Yeah.
But I was put out at the age of 15. And so even going through that journey and a lot of other stuff that I experienced, by the time that I had, and even just having birth with her, I was in the hospital for 10 days because my incision leaked. My mom later on told me that she came out, she was blue. I mean, it was just a lot. And I was like, I had a fever like 105. So I literally was mostly focused on just doing what I had to do. And I remember the social worker, when, anytime you have a child that's a teenager has a child, there's always a social worker that comes to visit you. Now, mind you, at the time, I didn't know that was the situation. I just thought, oh, this lady's coming to see me. And she told me that I was different because every time when my daughter, I would time for me to eat, my daughter will wake up. So it's kind of like, I think we were in sync back then. And so I would push my food aside and feed her. And so the social worker was like, every time I come in your room, you're either talking to your daughter, feeding her, holding her, where other teens would mostly be on the phone or different things like that. And one, I didn't really have a lot of friends, and where I was in California, but because I had moved right 6 weeks before I had her. But the other thing is that was not my priority or my focus. It was mostly on her, and I continued that throughout our lives.
What
So.
do you hope your readers get out of your chapter?
I hope my readers learn how to really connect with their child, and actually even for themselves that have been victims of child abuse or different things, they found that inner child inside and learn how to heal and become connected. So it's not even just as a parent, but even as ourselves, because most times when we've gone through something, we still have that little girl or little boy inside of us that is struggling, that doesn't get an opportunity to really speak their voice. So literally learning how to speak your truth, and like the chapter title is Fiercely Speak, learning how to speak fiercely and own your confidence, own your power.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a good relationship with your mom?
No.
No. No.
I,
Okay.
we're learning, we're growing, it's developing because but like, when my mom put me out at 15, it was mostly me focusing on raising my daughter. And like, there's times she had her own trauma, and as an adult I know that now. So she's a product of her own environment, and I just refuse to not allow that to be my story when it came to my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, tell your fans how they can contact you.
yes, so I'm on all social platforms under Decide to Move. The name of my company is DECIDE to Move. For my website is decidetoMove.com. On Instagram and Twitter is Decide to Move. On my Facebook page, it's also Decide to Move. But then as far as I have a group called the Confident Professional Women Circle, and it's really a network of women learning to come together and just support each other, help each other in a lot of different areas. We have Spotlight Fridays where we allow people to actually help be a spotlight, talking about their expertise and different things like that. So yeah, so it's easy to find me.
Excellent. So now this is Decide to Move, TO Move, or the number 2 Move?
No, TO Move.
Okay, Decide to Move, just like it
Yes.
spelled, the correct
Yeah.
spelling and everything.
And honestly, each letter is an acronym that actually spells out transformational growth development. So each letter actually is an actual step towards something, towards
Oh,
growth. Hmm.
excellent. Very good. Well, thank you so much, Monica Bijou. I am so happy
Thank
that
you.
you were willing to allow me to interview you and to spend your Sunday afternoon with me.
Yes, yes.
I appreciate it. I was a co-author in the original Unchained Me Mama book, so I understand that whole co-author journey. And yes,
Mhm.
Audra is an awesome visionary author. So
She
I
is.
enjoyed the process with her as well.
She makes it super easy, and so I am so happy that I got a chance to be on this on this journey as well as in this anthology, because there's some amazing women. So the connection is so awesome as well. So you now have a new family that you're a part of as well. So it offers so much more than I can possibly even begin to say.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Miss Monica Bijou. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we will talk to you later.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Jennifer McPherson. Jennifer is going to talk to us about her chapter in the book. She is one of the 14 co-authors of the book, Fiercely Speaking, with the visionary author Audra Loree Upchurch. And Jennifer, why don't you come on and introduce yourself to the community and tell us what your chapter is all about?
Yeah, so hello, my name is Jennifer McPherson. I'm a licensed professional counselor from Philadelphia, and I'm the CEO and founder of McPherson Clinical and Consulting Services, located right outside of Philadelphia in Jenkintown. And my chapter in Fiercely Speaking is called Blackbird.
Blackbird. Oh, that's interesting. Tell us about that.
So my chapter discusses my experience with domestic violence and a significant relationship that I went through in my very early 20s, and that how that shaped me to who I am today and my experience and journey with that.
Very good. And what made you decide to become a part of the anthology?
So I had always known Audra through social media and through other circles, and we were at a conference and she presented the project. And it was funny because right before she had presented it, I was thinking of ways about how I can put my story out there to help other people, but I wasn't quite sure how. And this just kind of fell in my lap, and it seemed like the perfect opportunity because as a therapist, I listen to other people's stories every single day. And I finally wanted a platform to kind of put mine out there to help others and hopefully put some change and transformation in other people.
What surprised you about the journey? What were you expecting, and then what surprised you?
I thought that it was going to be easy. I thought that I had done my own work based off of my experiences, but through writing this journey, I realized that there was a lot of stuff that I had uncovered that I had to refeel again in order to put my story out there. But it also surprised me to see how far that I have come as an individual, because, you know, when you're dealing with experiences like that, you're always in survival mode. You're not in the mode where you can just stop, think, smell the roses, and be mindful. And it let me see who I was back then and who I am today and how much significant growth. And oftentimes I see that growth within my clients. So that was a surprise to me.
What did you learn about yourself through the journey?
I learned that, you know, just outside of this story, I've overcome a lot of different things, but because of this significant thing, I learned that I am a very strong individual. I learned that I had a lot to offer, and I learned that, you know, I did a lot of work on myself and I was proud of the work that I did, but even then I still have a lot of work to do in order to be the person that I want to be. And I'm proud to own up to that and have that amount of insight as well too.
Mm-hmm. What do you hope your listener, your readers get out of your chapter?
I hope that they're able to relate, whether there's someone that's coming out of a domestic situation or someone that's in a current domestic situation, to see that there is hope, there is a way out. Oftentimes victims that are in that situation, it's a very scary situation to be in it, but it's even scarier to leave and to even fathom what your future can look like. So I hope that I can be an example, okay, that even though after this is done and over with, that there is hope that your future can be brighter than your present.
Did your family have any type of reaction to you writing this chapter? Did they know about it? Did you let them read it? Like, what was their reaction?
So my family knows, but they're not the type to necessarily react to these type of things. So to them, it's not necessarily a big deal. More so, a lot of my friends, I consider them to be my family. And so from them, they were very supportive in me putting my story out there and getting to hear a different side of it as well, too.
Okay. What about your partner? Are you still in touch with him? Did he know you were putting it out there, kind of
Oh
putting
no.
his business out there?
I have not spoken to him in years, and for safety reasons, we're going to keep it that way. He is not named in the book by his real name, but my current partner, because I have gotten into a very significant relationship many years later that is very much healthy, he has been very supportive of me in this journey and in this process as well, too.
Excellent. Excellent. Tell your readers how they can contact you, Jennifer.
So on all social media, you can find me under the handle Jen McPherson LPC. That is JenMcPherson LPC. Also, my website is McPhersonCCS.com, and there's also the handle McPhersonCCS on Instagram and Facebook as well too.
And what parting remarks do you have for your raving fans?
Parting remarks, even though you may be in something today, does not mean that you will be in the same place tomorrow. That life is always a journey.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for spending your Sunday afternoon with me and allowing me to interview you. Good luck with your chapter. Good luck with your book sales. I hope you get everything out of it that, as much as you put into it, I hope you get everything out of it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, and we will talk to you later.
All right. Bye.